Hi, I'm John Twist of University Motors. Yesterday afternoon, it was about 100 degrees, everybody was sweating, and we got about 25 cars in the shop, and people are anxious to get their cars back. And a guy calls and goes, "Oh, my car quit on the East Belt Line," which is right a mile to our west. And what can you do? Well, he came around and borrowed a tow strap from us, towed the TR3 here, and he said it was running just fine, and then it kind of stumbled, and then it quit and it wouldn't run anymore. So either it's no gas or no spark. Well, what's the easier one to test for? No spark. I took a spark plug wire off, and I had a screwdriver. This is a TR6, but it still looks like a TR. And I put it in here, and I said, okay, and I had one of my guys turn on the ignition and pull the starter, and we held this away from here, and I looked to see if there's a spark. No spark. Okay, so there we go. There's the problem. Why don't we have a spark? So the next thing I did, I snapped the cap off, and I looked at the points, and I put the car in gear and pushed the car so the points were open. In fact, the points were open. So it wasn't the fact that the gap had been lost. So then I said, well, what's next here? So then I thought, well, I wonder if I'm getting spark out of the coil. Now this is easy to get back on. So I took this off here. Actually, in the case of the TR6, I would have pulled this off and held it against here and asked someone to spin the car over and see if I got a spark. But the TR3 had a cap, and the wires were in the cap with screws, so it wasn't possible to do that. Instead, I took my wire here and grounded him and hooked the other end of him to the, well, easy for me to do. Absolutely not. And then put it down here and had my guy, test it to see if it would spin over. I was holding the wire, I guess it was the other end, and there's a break in the wire right here. You can see where it's melted. And the spark jumped through there pretty easily on my hand, and so I jumped around a lot. Anyway, I knew there was a spark. And therefore, what could possibly be wrong? We've got spark out of the coil, but not back out of the distributor. So the most common fault is the rotor. So I pulled the rotor out and got one of the new red Jeff Schlemmer rotors, put that in, closed it all up. I was real bold, and I said, okay, we can drive it away now. We turned the key on, pulled the starter, started right up. So diagnosis is the first step. Always diagnose the problem. Another person might have changed the points or changed the coil, or I don't know. I have people call me on the phone and are so confused, and they might want to even change the alternator. But always go for the problem first, just to a logical sequence of steps. I happen to be in Reno next week at the Silver Legacy. They have a place for me to do 2 days of tech seminars on Tuesday and Wednesday. So if you're going to be in Reno, I'll be there someplace in the parking garage working on cars all day. That's where I should be. See you later.